I am so excited to bring back some folks and bring you some other folks. This show, we're talking 16 years. I mean, we have a new soap on the air, right, on network. But there are soaps that have been around for a long time, like this one, Venice, the series, one of my favorites. I still have the DVD from season one. I have it. I bought it when it came out. I was a huge fan. And people, I'm telling you, there's so many people in the world of soaps on this show every season, and this season is no different. It's exciting. I'm James Lott Jr. Welcome to Daytime Today here on JLJ Media. And I am just so excited and giddy with excitement to get started with these folks. But I'm just a little different. I'm going to actually go to them, have them tell you their real name, then their real name on the show. And Mr. Gregory, you go first.
Hi there. I'm Detective Nick Fander. Hi, I'm Nate Fander. And I'm Gregory Zarian. Hello.
I love that. Oh, that was perfect. Miss Jessica.
Hello, everyone. I am Jessica Leccia, and I actually play Annie Martin.
Yes. Harrison.
Hey, I'm Harrison White, and I played Jamie.
Yes. And our fearless leader.
Yes.
I'm Crystal Chappell, and I play Gina Brogno.
Yes. Welcome to the show, you guys. Welcome back to Crystal and Gregory. Welcome, you guys. I was telling Harrison off camera because many people know my life. My middle name is Harrison. And my nickname is Jamie. My grandkids call me Papa Jamie. My kids call me Uncle Jamie. So I was like, I love your character over the years. Comic relief du jour. There's some stuff you did with Hillary B. Smith that just makes me laugh out loud all the time. And this
I'm obsessed.
You get some stuff with Gregory this season too. I know you get some stuff coming up. So Harrison, how did Venice come into your orbit?
Well, it was a crazy thing, right? My husband was doing hair on Days of Our Lives while Crystal was on Days, and I think she lost a performer who was supposed to perform. And my husband happened to hear her over talking about it. And he said, well, my husband's an actor. You got a role for him. And she said, well, send me something. We sent her when MySpace was still the thing. Ooh. We sent her my MySpace link, and she called me and offered me the part. Now, it was only supposed to be 3 episodes, I believe, right? 3 episodes. And here I am 7 seasons later and so grateful.
Wow. Actually, I want to ask you a question, Chris. I didn't ask you this last time. So because you started Venice when you weren't on the show, correct? Because you came back to Days. Were you allowed to talk about your show while you were on Days?
I didn't really consider. Well, I wasn't hiding anything. It was sort of like a side hustle, right? But and nobody really cared at that what people were doing. It was only when things started getting out there and PR and stuff that people were going, "Well, hey." But it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. And I was just wondering, I was thinking, I've never asked you that before, because you came back to the show while this was kind of happening. So yeah, I was like, yeah. I forgot about that. So Harrison, when you see the scripts over the years, are you just busting up already? You're just like, okay, here we go.
I am obsessed with the script. And I get lucky because they always find fun things for me to do. And I'm always excited about that. The second season, which I think is probably my favorite season for me, well, that would end season 3, Paid to Get Laid. You can't get over Paid to Get Laid.
Yes.
The lyrics were by my husband, by the way.
Oh, they were? Oh, yes. Oh my God, Michael. Oh, how funny.
Yes, they were. And the second season, I believe, if I'm correct, Crystal, correct me if I'm wrong, but you wrote the second season, right?
I wrote the entire story arc in about half of the
And I was the one where I was running down the street with a dead body.
Yeah.
And so for me, the more outrageous, the more fun it can be. And I always feel like they cater to me, and even more as an artist, I always feel like Crystal really trusts me with the material. And so it's the reason I keep coming back. Like I keep coming back to Venice and changing my schedule to do it, because I am absolutely in love with the whole process and my fellow cast members. Like, I am crazy about all of them.
Oh, it's very sweet. No, they've written some they've written some situations. Some of the lines you say in some of these things, I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, over this and that. The dead body one that does it wins. It wins every time. Wins every time.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was such a perfect day, and I needed that day because I was supposed to go to do a show on Broadway, and it had just gotten canceled that day. And I needed an outlet, and we had that scene coming up, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to get my life. And we shot the scene the first time, and I turn around, I look around, and everybody was laid out on the ground and in the sand. It was so much joy. So much joy.
Crystal.
It's been that way. I literally look forward to the process every time, and I'm never unhappy when I leave.
So, Crystal, when you saw those takes, I mean, you must have been dying.
I was one of the people on the ground because we were all dying silently because he was so hilarious. And you know, I can go on and on about each and every person that I've been fortunate enough to work with on the show and tell you, their talents. But Harrison has a true gift as a comedian, and so it's so easy to write something, a situation, and he's going to just elevate it, make it better, funnier.
And Gregory, you're working with him a lot this season too, aren't you? With him this season?
Oh, with Harrison? Oh, is that to Harrison or
That's
me?
to you. That's to you.
Oh, yes, Crystal was gracious enough to put us together.
And how was that? How was that experience?
As I recently said, he had me at hello. He really did, because we had never met, and also like even the season Jessica and I spent more time together than we did in the other seasons. Crystal has assembled such a beautiful cast of talented people. So I knew of Harrison. I met Harrison. We Zoomed for a little bit to run lines, and I seriously went like, I love you. And I want to be you in my next lifetime. You are just joy. And to then be on set with him and be with an actor that just gives and gives and gives, that then makes me better. An absolute gift. And then to get to know who he is personally in his life, with his marriage and his child, and all these beautiful trinkets that he shared with me, my heart bursts thinking of him. And so to see what we created on the season, it was more than I thought. And so grateful that Crystal keeps on bringing me back, and I got to work with him.
I mean, you're a joy too, Gregory. You know that. So it's not hard to fall in love with you also. So just want you to know.
Not at all.
No, John.
Not.
Go ahead, Harrison. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, not at all. It's not hard to fall in love with him. He was everything. And I'd known of his work. And so I was already like a fan already of his stuff. And when he did the previous season, I was like, oh my God. And so then when I found out that we were going to get to play together, I was like ecstatic, really, truly ecstatic. And so, yeah, it's been a great time.
Yes, and folks, he was nominated for an Emmy, folks, for some of that work. And again, he came on as one person and came back as another. He's making twins. We'll get to all that and all that in a second. But I want to talk to the beautiful Jessica, because I wanted to tell you, I'm such a fan of yours from Guiding Lights. I mean, don't get me started. I'm such a fan of yours. Yes, as a fan of your work, and I want to tell you why. So, okay. Why I like your work is that you're so natural. That some people, you look at them and they're good. They're good what they do. They're good actors, whatever. But you can tell on some level that they're acting. Like I just feel like there's not bad things. I just tell. Your work on that show, your work on this show, it's just so natural. That's the words that come to mind for me. So I'll make sure I was going to say that to you when I met you. I see Crystal's agreeing with everybody's agreeing with me. Crystal, what do you want to say first when we get to Jessica?
She had me at hello too. Jessica's just a genuine person. She walks her talk, and so being in a scene with her, going all the way back to Guiding Light, it was so easy. It was just so easy to connect with her and kind of get into her world. You know, she's very open that way. So yeah, I mean, look, we're sitting here 16 years later because I get to work with that beautiful woman. So yeah, all good.
What I'm here for, kids. And thank you very much. That's very, very, very sweet to say. Very sweet to say. But really what it is it's everybody that I get to work with on these shows in particular, the energy is very contagious, and I want to have these conversations and these interactions, and it's very easy to be in it when you're actually really in it. And that's, I mean, it's an oversimplification, but that's how it's felt for all this time. When I was, new to soaps, and someone told me I got to work with Crystal, I was like, oh, what? What do you mean? Me? Because she's fantastic. She'd already established herself as someone who's fantastic, and so you get to, sit with that and learn from it and have fun with it. And then she kept employing me. I was like,
that's a good friend there. Like, thank you.
Right? Yes. I mean, so yeah, it's not very hard to be in it with everybody. And it's always fun. And it's always interesting. I never really know what to expect season to season. And there's a lot of air between the seasons too. And so we have a lot of time to work around stuff. And, it's never boring. That's for sure.
Yeah. I want to actually ask you this, Jessica, is that when she came to you with this idea of doing a series and you guys still work together, what were some of your thoughts back then?
My initial thought was, I don't know what that is at all, but right. Sure. If she said, let's go in the parking lot and do some stuff and trust me on it, I'd be like, okay, because she had a very clear idea. She's like, I'm doing this thing and this is what it's going to be. And it's this, and it's a web series. And I literally had never seen a web series before. I didn't even know at that point if I had ever heard.
It's one of the first. It's one of the first. It's one of the early ones. It's one of the early ones.
Yeah. And I didn't know how it would be, and I didn't understand what the format would kind of be like, but I didn't really care because I just figured we could just keep working. And I would have agreed to anything, but I didn't understand the scope of it all, that, she literally had to just put it up, and not in my wheelhouse.
You're like, where's she going to show this? Who's going to see it? Back then.
Yeah. And here we are, 16 years later, and the baby I toted around wondering what are we doing is now that I'm in her room. I'm not allowed to show you. She's got to clean it. But I'm in her room. She's 16 now. If you look at it that way, it's bananas.
Yeah, I mean, because just go real seriously, when you think about that, back then there was very few. It was kind of starting out. They had different names for them. They weren't sure what they were calling them. The web was still kind of morphing, and
I didn't even have a smartphone yet. I didn't.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Right, we didn't back then. No, not at all.
No, yeah.
No.
I was like, oh, it's a computer show. Computer show. That sounds good. I like computers. That's really what I was thinking at the time, and I was like, sure, let's do that.
Yeah, that's so funny. Because Crystal, there's two things about Crystal. I don't know if she really realizes. One, you're a trailblazer. That's just number one. You don't get enough credit on that. You are a trailblazer. And two, you are a soap legend. I said to you last time, and I'm gonna say it again. I mean, come on. I mean, you've made your mark in daytime. Are you starting to finally feel both those things at all, Miss Crystal, after all these years?
Okay. Okay. Look, I feel like the reality is, yes, I know what I've done. You say something like that and people go, oh, well, she's so full of herself. So I just tend to stay the fuck out of it, if I'm being honest.
I love it.
I know what I've done. I am very proud of what I've done. I know how hard it was to do. I didn't do it alone, obviously. Yeah, and as far as the soap stuff, I certainly left a mark. I don't I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm very proud. My husband and I are very proud of the work that we've laid down, and now I get to do this, and it's largely because of the fans that keep showing up. So, and this is it, and it's interesting. It's very different than driving on a set and having people do your hair for you, which I could have used today, but that's a whole. But yeah, I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it.
So now we have season 7. So what can we expect, for fans to, this daytime Emmy nominated series, winning series, LGBT. We have all this stuff going on in the world, but you're still at the core this very queer friendly, fun California friendly series. So how's it going into season 7 for us?
Well, season 6 was kind of an offshoot, even though if we followed these characters and we met Nate, right? Yeah. But I really just wanted to go and work with my Guiding Light family. The whole thing was written around that, quite frankly. But so season 7, we pick up with them coming back to Venice, and things are seemingly going really well in Gina and Annie's life, and then just in a matter of a day, everything starts to unravel because Gina accepts a job and she's working for someone else at Annie's magazine. And they're feeling like, yeah, we'll have some ground rules and keep this relationship separate. But there are all these understirrings of people who are not fans of Gina's or Annie's happiness. And that's that part of the story. And then there's stuff happening which I'll let Harrison and Gregory talk about in their world, and in other characters as well. So it's a little bit of it's relationships. It's with a soapy twist.
I love it. Harrison, tell about your character this season. What's going on for you?
Well,
what you can share.
It's dealing with the demolish of his stability, actually, and so he's finding himself in a twist about where he's going and his reputation and what he's done, and trying to find his path back to a new life without his stability. So it's a fun ride for him, and meeting someone new who is now catching his attention, which is nice as well. I'm really excited about that.
And where's the hair? I love the hair. I'm like, where's the hair?
Honestly, I've been lifing. A lot of lifing has been going on. I've had a lot of loss this past year, and I thought it's time to refresh, so I cut it all off. It's like, let's start over. Let's pick up the bases and keep moving forward. So yeah,
they say we carry a lot of emotion in our hair. They say we carry a lot of emotion in our hair.
Exactly. So I need to refresh, and I'm getting ready to go and do Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in Sacramento. So I wanted a fresh look as well for that.
Well, you look fresh. You do look fresh. You do. My buddy down there, Gregory. I'll talk about this season for a second, but you've played 2 characters on the 2 very different characters on this show. And you're a twin in real life. We all know that. We love Lawrence. You're a twin in real life. How's that been for you? To play two separate characters on one series?
I thought the question was like, how's it been Lawrence's twin? So
no, it's about you. It's all about you.
And I just recently said this on something, Crystal was my crush. Is my soap crush. And as I'm sitting here, Crystal, I'm thinking of Julia Fordham Tower Block, that song that I always sing to you. That was Carly and Bo. And when I met Crystal, I couldn't talk. And 3 seasons later, and just this great gift, It's been great. I'm so grateful for all of it. You know, I remember when I was in season 5, I was interrogating Crystal as the detective. I looked at her and I was like, "Oh my God, you're Crystal Chappell." And she was like, "I was like, no, but do you, you know, I never want to lose that about myself because being someone that I respect in the world that I so want to play in, to be on a show that I was grateful to be part of, and then to work opposite of, um, like forever grateful. Um, and then season 6, real quickly, I got to work with Orla Cassidy, and she has become a dear, dear friend. And I love that shows like ours get to create relationships. And fast forward to season 7, Harrison and getting to actually spend time with Jessica has been, and then also got to spend great time with Lawrence. I mean, Michael, who played Lawrence on Days.
Yeah.
Really, really, really grateful for that. You know, when I did Nick, I kind of had it down season 5,
Okay.
but then Crystal said, come back and play his twin brother, Nate. I panicked. I was like, oh my God, well, how do I? Oh, well, I'm a twin. So I here's what it is. And, you know, Lawrence and I are so much alike, and yet they're so much different. I tapped into our differences. You know, there are parts of me that are insecure, and there are parts of Lawrence that are insecure. So I put some into Nick, and then I put the rest into Nate. And you know, one thing about Nate that I love is that he's terribly curious, and he really wants to fight for his independence. And you know, we spent a lot of time talking about bullying in season 6, and Lawrence and I were terribly bullied. We were treated horribly for a long time just for being twins, and now being adult men. And you know, I'm married to John, and us living in this world today, um, still uncovering what I'm uncovering and still discovering what I'm discovering, and being on a show that allows us to say, hey, just celebrate who you are and love who you love. Uh, that's a long answer,
I
but
love it. No, it's a great answer because right now
I've
we need,
talked.
but no, but Gregory, we need media right now that reflects that. Where you're kind of leading to, like you and Harrison, we all four of us on, 5 of us on here know that. It's just we need stuff like this presented in just a regular way. I mean, just like you know, just it's life. Like you said, life be life, and it's like it's completely, you know, there's all kinds of life, right,
You
Gregory?
know, yeah, but I don't. Here's my thing, is especially with where we are in the world and about, you know, who you love is under such attack. Who cares?
Right.
Like truly, who cares? I don't. I love who I love, and I'm grateful that I get to love John.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get off this and think about you can love this person or that person. Why don't you just love who you love and just be kind and say thank you and please and pay it forward. And being sober, you know, being sober, you live your life being of service. So if we could all just live our lives being of service and being kind and asking questions and saying, you know, what I was saying about Harrison, and even when Jessica, when I were chatting, and even, you know, Michael, and even with Crystal, you know, to get to know someone, you ask a lot of questions. What's it like? Tell me what this is. You know, I'm a white man, Harrison's a black man. And I really asked him questions. You know, he was on Broadway. What's that like? What is that like? What was that like? How is it for you being a black actor? And then he came back and asked me questions, and the love just went deeper because we were asking questions because we are more similar than dissimilar. And it's a joy to get to know people deeper and more open and honest. So and our show does that. We go deep and we ask questions and we dive into insecurities, bullying, you know, death, loss, love. And we're just human beings, just being.
Yeah, I agree with that. Jessica, I want to ask you, who is Annie today? I mean, like, I know she's going to go. You guys are going to go through it this season, I know, but like, who is to you playing this character all these seasons? Who is Annie today?
I would say I feel like she's kind of light years emotionally from where we first see her as this sort of, I don't want to say floundering, but her feelings for Gina, this feeling that this is just an unrequited love that she can't have, and kind of letting that filter into her whole life and her old insecurities, and how she lets that color everything. In this season, we see that that's not really her vibe anymore. You know, she's in a loving, committed relationship. It took a lot to get there. She worked really hard. Gina worked really hard. Here we are. And now she's kind of focused on this other element of bettering herself. And so we see that, she's career-wise kind of venturing to something that makes her feel more powerful in herself. And she's in a great place. And she's got her beautiful wife who's supporting her, and everything's great. And then the conflict comes from what that means as far as their dynamic when that becomes sort of threatened. Her dynamic at work is a little bit, it is pushed off kilter. And then so now what does that mean for this hard won relationship? And then what does it mean for who Annie is to have to she has to speak up for herself a little bit more in the season and what she wants. And then, there's always those outside forces.
Yes.
Kind of throw a little monkey wrench.
Well, we know
need the
Nadia
monkey wrench.
Bjorkman is back this season too. I see she's on this season.
What now?
Just want to say that. I know she's back. I love my Nadia. I love Nadia. Known her for years. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, Crystal, same thing. Who is Sheena these days? Who is she this season?
She's finally, agreeing to let herself love and let herself live, and being less afraid. It's always like the strongest people sometimes who dig themselves into one aspect of their life, right? And have no balance, that are most afraid, I think. So she's evolved to a point where she's going, I don't know what I'm going to do next, which is always a scary place to be in, for me anyway. But I know I love this woman, and I know that whatever I do is going to be circling this relationship. So she's gotten to an emotionally mature place of being able to let herself love and be loved. And now she's reinventing herself, and that can be fun and that can be scary. And and so the conflict comes with how they choose to deal with this particular conflict. But she's grown. All of these characters, I think, have grown.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure. It seems like kind of for all of your characters, all four of you guys, this is a kind of a new growth this season for all four of you. Your characters, you're getting new territory. Harrison, would you agree with that?
I do. I mean, because when we first met Jamie, he was managing a restaurant.
Oh, that's right.
And all of these seasons now, he's become quite the chef. He owns his own restaurants. I mean, he really has moved up the scale of his life to a place that he's been dreaming of. He's finally reached his dream, right? And then it's what happens when you reach your dream. And how are you looking at your life? How is your relationship going? What are the things? What is the cost for the price of that dream? And so that's what I find exciting about his journey.
Well, it's funny. Crystal said something that just maybe hit me. It's like we're all five of us are gig-based workers. It's we don't really know what the future holds, right? I mean, that is kind of the fear. Yet we're all still in it. Like we all didn't get jobs somewhere and then stop, right, Crystal?
Yeah, no, it's exciting though too. That's what being an artist is. You don't know what's going to come out of you next, and it's scary and painful at times, but when you start to get excited about it, it's like that's what drives you. That's your fuel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. But I say it is exciting, but it's scary. I mean, it's like the same time you're like, okay, well, I'm done with that project, and you may have something lined up, you may not. One of those kind of things. You're like, oh, what's next? And it's but I don't want to sit at some desk, facing a wall 5 days a week. But I mean, it's just not for me. I mean, some folks, they like that, but for me, it's not like that. But there is that thrill of the chase, kind of, right? Of like, what can I get next? What's the next thing? And
A little bit.
A little bit. He's a little bit.
A little bit. It ebbs and flows. For myself personally, sometimes that you can feel it in you, you're like, and then other times you're like, you have to like take a deep breath and be like, what is wrong with me? The chip missing. Like, am I crazy? And then something happens and you get all wrapped up in again, and you see clear again. Sometimes it gets murky.
It's all foggy.
Sometimes it's like Vaseline, and you're like, what?
Well, I want to ask you a question. So, when you got Guiding Light, how did that come into your orbit? I didn't have a chance to ask you.
I was supposed to just I think it was supposed to be like a few episodes, like this little arc, and so I was brought on to break up a couple, as you do. Like, that's what I was there for. And so I came on, and they were like, "Oh, and you're here, and you have like an accent and everything, and you're going to do this quick little thing." And then I was there for longer, and then longer, and then longer. And I think they were fleshing out, the storyline of this Gus and Harley storyline that was happening, and they kept using me for more and more things, and I kept finding out that I had more and more backstory, and I was like, "Hey, like, I was born and raised in Chicago. Why do I?" I'm not off the boat here, kid. So then I had to like phase out the accent, and I was like, I don't know. And then finally, after a while, it was like, then I was offered a contract, and then all these other super exciting things, and I can't even tell you how thrilling that was. Still my favorite job ever. I met the best people there. It was a beautiful place to work. It was such a wonderful place to learn. And I had my first baby there, and I didn't care how pregnant I was. I would just roam around the halls, just happy. And I was just happy to be there. And I still think back very fondly about it. And it was just the best.
So I've had a chance to ask Crystal this on the last time. I'm going to ask you. So Otalia takes off. And again, wow, this is before the social media we have today. Like, it's before that, but there was some online stuff, and it took off. I mean, it was huge. It was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, so how did you handle all of that back then?
I didn't really get. I didn't get it. I wasn't in the like. I didn't know how to gauge any of that. I was just happy to be there. I couldn't believe I got a storyline like this. I was thrilled. I was so happy to work with Crystal. I thought the story was brilliant because I hadn't seen it before. Not only had I not seen it, on a soap, but it's not a very common storyline, with two women living their lives as mothers and wives and doing this and doing that, just kind of genuinely looking at each other and falling in love. I was like, brilliant, let's do that. And I thought it was great. And I was coming from Natalia being what I thought was just reviled, like, how dare you, who is this crazy bitch? To actually, being part of a couple that meant something to people. Well, I wasn't expecting that as much as it happened. And then what happened afterward, I wasn't expecting. It was just a lovely surprise for me. I was just happy to be there. I thought the storyline made so much sense to me. And we did what we possibly could with it. We took it to the end. We took it to the end and beyond, which, made me happy. And I didn't know what to expect. I certainly didn't expect that.
Yeah. I'll say, Crystal, for you, it's like lightning struck for you. I'm like, they got 3 or 4 times on these soaps. It's like you never get paired with people all the time. You never know what's going to take off with fans. You have no idea, right? Yeah. You've had it before, so you've had several pairings that took off with fans. I know this one was just like, again, it was so natural. You guys were so natural together, Crystal. That's what I keep thinking about.
Yeah, well, like I said before, the character of Olivia was, by far my favorite character to play, because she just got to say all these really horrible things, and get away with it. It's like, are you kidding? And usually there was some truth in it, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then all of a sudden this woman comes along, and she has her heart condition, and is just sort of going to give it all up, and go to the other side, I suppose. And then this woman shows up and is just like, no, and fighting back and fighting for her, and this friendship. And it was so well structured. And so, Jill Hurst and Ellen Wheeler, they really took their time with this. It was just good old fashioned soap, really, where people have the luxury of taking the time, I suppose, to be able to, let this thing play out and let this thing slow burn. And, and the two characters, Natalia and Olivia, very different women. So the fact that they were able to connect in a way that was so much deeper was such an awesome thing on a soap opera. You don't get to see that a lot. You just don't. And I'm a huge soap fan, so I'm thinking back years and years and years and going, you don't get to see that a lot between two women. I'm not talking necessarily the love story, but just two women having a deep relationship.
Right. A lot of times soaps is very adversarial. Women have it's your rivals. It's my man, it's your man, it's my man. That's mostly that. So when you see real friendship or your frenemies, you have ones that are the frenemies. Like when the actual friendship, because you guys had a friendship. You can see the women had a friendship. And
out of this need to be together. I think it was very well structured as a story. So, and so easy to work with Jesse. So
I love you more.
I love you more. No, 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 I love you more. And I like that. I do like that. Gregory, so you've been playing these two characters. Now you've been on there for 3 seasons and all that. So what are some of your thoughts about the future of this kind of medium of soaps? And I call it a streaming, so you call it a streaming series now, I guess. It's streaming. We don't say really web anymore. What are some of your thoughts about that? Because you're out there in the world, you're on shows and things. What are your thoughts about that?
I love it. I mean, I love it. I think it's I think you can watch your favorite show on your phone. I think I think with where we are, not even I think, where we are in the world, sometimes you just need a minute to escape. And when Crystal sent an email to me a little while ago just about, pick up your phone and go online for like 7 to 10 minutes of just escapism and find out, what's happening in the world of Venice. And I love it. I do. I really, really do. Soaps were created to see something else, to get out of your own way and just see what's happening there. And we offer that. We do. We offer crazy fun. We offer love, romance, sad, hurt, happy, all of it. And I think it's quick fix. And I think it's, if you're in a bad mood, turn on go to Venice. Go to, you know what I'm saying? So I love everything about it. And I like that, as you said in the very beginning of this, Crystal's creation of Venice, the series, was groundbreaking. And so many people have followed in your tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so genius. And I was before this, I was on a show called, Sherry Anderson, Crystal. Yes. She wrote The Spot. Yes. And it was half script,
yep,
little videos. And I was with Marie Wilson. She played my girlfriend on The Spot.
Love
Marie. So and then you watch a little video, and then this was the next iteration of it. And I think it's taken off so beautifully because everything now is streaming. So I love everything about it. And it gives us more opportunities as actors to do more. I spend every day on that stripper pole hoping for, another. I'm on the stripper pole. I am. Sometimes you get cash and sometimes you're like, fuck, my thighs are tired, but it's what we chose to do. And, we're still stripping. So God bless. And I love it all. I do, because and we also get to be more fearless on this. When I was doing some research, One thing that I like that Crystal said that I did not know is on CBS in 2009, two women couldn't kiss, but they could
All right.
online. But they could online,
Right.
and it's more fearless and it's more truthful. There's more we can do here than we can sometimes do on TV. So I love everything about it.
For the sake of storytelling, when you're trying to tell a story, it's like it's more authentic when the couple kisses or the couple hugs or the couple,
Instead of alluding,
right.
you know, yeah, and it just goes deeper and darker, and you can say fuck, and no one's going to censor you. I was on KTLA with Lawrence a few days ago, and they bleeped me out because I said the word ass.
Yes.
Ass. Really? It's in the Bible. But here, like it is.
It is. It is. It is.
Jesus said ass, but you know what I'm saying? So I love this. There's so many more opportunities, and it's an open book with everything. So that's what I feel about streaming.
Like that. Harrison, if somebody asked you, why should I watch Venice? What would you say?
Well, let me go to a story. A couple of years ago, I did a musical in Baltimore called Soul. It was about stacks. Anyway, there was an actress in the show. She kept going, "I know you. I know you." I said, "No, baby, we've never met before." "No, I know you. I know you. I know you." I said, "Okay." Halfway through the run, she went, "Oh my God, you're Jamie! You're Jamie! Time!" That's the reason. There's so much joy, right? And I have not met anybody who's watched the show who isn't triggered in a positive way. And this young actress happens to be lesbian. And so I was thrilled because she felt like she saw herself, right? And that is important, right? I have my daughter in a particular school right now because I want her to see herself. All those things help each of us to love ourselves more, to be better, to move forward, right? In a natural, honest way. And so that's what I love about this show. This show, you're going to see it all forefront, right? You're going to see it, everybody's laying their heart out on the table. I don't know one actor. I mean, that's been part of the joy of working on the show is like everybody comes ready to just expose the character, and I always feel a bit of ourselves in the process, right? And I don't always feel that way when I'm working on certain shows, right? I don't always feel like I feel like I'm just, for the lack of better word, acting, right? This show, I feel like I'm exposing a bit of myself and I'm having fun telling this story. And there's a lot of joy in Venice. It's just a lot of joy in Venice. So if you want a joyful moment, you need to get out of your head. You need to see the world in a funner, more beautiful way. And this is the place.
I agree. And you get outdoor sets. You get to see people outside. And people are like, soaps and soap. They're trying a little bit nowadays or something. So they try and they go outside a little. They're using the parking lot. I'm like, at your hospital, I was like, well, upstate New York doesn't have palm trees in the background, but that's another story. So I always laugh about that. But they're trying. But like you guys, seriously, you're a streaming series. You're shooting on location in places, and so people get to see your actual folks in real, almost like in real situations. It adds to authenticity. We're at the office. You guys are at an office. You're not on some set somewhere. And no shame to all that either, but those crews work really hard trying to change those sets out and everything. I mean, we all know that. But I'm just saying, it's kind of.
Can I just say, like, production wise, I mean, the locations, the way everything moves, it's so great. I just did a little, like a day of work on another show, and it's a big show, and I didn't know my ass from my face because I was like, it's a totally different, like Harrison was saying, it's a totally different feel sometimes. These are not my people. I've never done a scene with this person, and now we're just kind of thrown into it. And that's fine. That is what it is. But something like this, the locations are so well thought out, and then it's beautiful. And I'm Crystal and I are in a genuine sunset.
Right.
With the ocean. Like,
right.
You know, and Harrison and I are snuggling on a couch in a beautiful place with its all floor to ceiling window. And Gregory and I are like hauling ass down the hall of like an actual real office with office windows and office supplies. And we're working. Like it's so well done on all fronts. Everybody works so hard. I mean, aside from us actors, everybody works so hard on this show to make it look the way it looks. I think it looks so beautiful.
Can I say something? And the people that work on the show love the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crew are I mean, the crew was talking to me because I have only been around for a couple of years, but just talking about their love of Venice, their love of Crystal, their love of the story, their love of us. And all of that transfers to what you see in the final product. It's palpable. And you come into work and you see these people really just so grateful to be there and so happy. And, you know, I as well was on something and the set was great, but I'm like, I've never met you and okay. And I'm grateful for the job, but this is just like, hi, I can't wait to see you tomorrow morning at 8:00. And you hug everybody and you feel it. And that's why Venice is such a special kind of wonderful.
And there are people who've been with us from the beginning, right? Who've been there from the beginning. 7 seasons later, still there. I mean, all of that speaks to the joy of Venice. All of that speaks to why people should watch it and why we love coming back as artists and why the crew keeps coming back and the fan base. Oh my God, the fan base. It's really a gift. But thank you, Cece, for knowing that and trusting yourself to deliver that.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it. As we wrap this up, I love all you guys. As we wrap this up,
don't
I know. Like I said, I could talk forever with you guys. The folks are going to watch a 5-hour, podcast.
Sure, they will.
With you guys, I would. I mean, I would. So I'd be mindful. But I want to say that
stripper pole.
So, well, get up.
And that's season 8, Gregory. You're so good at playing these twins. I'm going to have Nick come back, but he's lost his job.
Oh, okay.
He's no longer a detective. He bottomed out. He got in with a bad crowd, and he's working down at the
Pink Pony Club.
What do we want to call the club?
Pink Pony.
I said the Pink Pony Club. Okay, I'll get this into shape.
The Pink Pony. Oh my goodness.
It's visual, isn't it?
Yes, the Pink Pony.
I love it.
Well, I want to ask you, so season 8?
It's always swirling around in my head. I have one little project that I want to do that involves Venice, sort of a separate offshoot that is it's sort of a walk down memory lane kind of thing. So I'm putting together that project. But yes, it's definitely in the works. And I'm also in the process of writing a pilot with for someone that is taken me under their wing at Warner Brothers and is teaching me how to actually do that. So thank you. I'm very scared. It's scary and it's fun. Yeah. But I'm learning a lot. But yes, season 8 is definitely is swirling around in my head. But now the Pink Pony Club is too.
Well, I can run it. I will seriously, I will do whatever to come on the show. I'll do whatever. I'll run the Pink Pony Club.
Yes.
I can do that. And be Jamie's brother or cousin or somebody. We related somehow.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you. I'll take that idea.
I'm cheap, girl. I'm cheap. I just want to be around you guys. That's all.
That sounds great.
I'm
excited.
This is Hollywood, making deals happen. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show and spending time with me again. And you guys for the first time, you guys again. Crystal and Greg, I love you both very much. And now I love you too, Jessica and Harrison.
Hey. Love you back.
My two friends.
James, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So great.
Bringing us on again, and just thank you for being so lovely. And thank you for your loyalty to Venice. It's awesome.
Always. Tell folks, Crystal, tell folks where they can find Venice. I'm going to put it all in the descriptions underneath everything, but let them know where they can find it. Sure.
You can watch seasons 1 and 2 on YouTube for free. You can also go to Vimeo.com and watch all 7 seasons, 1 and 2 for free, and then the rest you'll get a subscription. But yeah, thank you so much to the fans. Thank you for being there for 15 plus years, and it's growing, and they're positive and they're energetic and they fight the good fight. We're all in this together, and we won't quit. So yeah, there will be a season 8.
I love it. Thank you guys. And I'm James Lott Jr. This is Daytime Today. We'll talk to you next time.
Love you guys. Thank you.